What's going on? My name is Jesse Bourne, and this is the Mystery Mind Podcast. It's a podcast dedicated to puzzle boxes and the development behind them, what goes into them, how we build them here in the shop. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a new platform for me. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but I wanted to give you guys some more content, and I think it could be mutually beneficial for you and for me, because you guys can always, phone in or whatever and let me know what you think about the puzzles and the direction of the company and all that sort of thing. And I can give you guys more feedback so that you guys, well, not feedback, but insight onto what new puzzles are coming out. And in general, I just want this puzzle building business to follow the customer's wants, wishes, and desires. And sometimes it's hard to gauge that. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to really just rip back the curtain and show you guys what's going on. So with this episode, I've got a new puzzle in the works. I've got a few new puzzles in the works, but the one that's real hot right now is a puzzle that is called, right now, I might change it, but okay, I can't even believe that I'm really telling you guys this, because I usually keep most of the stuff real secretive, but I thought, you know what, why not just see what happens if I just tell people what's going on with the design before it actually comes out, like what are people going to say? And how cool would that be if people knew what was in the works way beforehand and I could just kind of watch or listen to, the thoughts as people just kind of say what they like and don't like about it. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. This new puzzle I'm working on, that's been really just kind of in my mind the past 5 days or so. It's tentatively called the Living Puzzle Box. Now, this was named years ago. It wasn't even named by me. Hold on. That's just the air blow off in the other room. It's what's that called? A compressor tank, so that it doesn't fill up with water, because all the air is drawn into the tank and condensed, and the water is squeezed out and runs to the bottom. So we have a little blow off valve that times off every half hour or something. Okay, but anyways, back to what I was saying here. Somebody came to me with the idea. It's actually a friend of mine. Well, it was actually my former employer, my pretty much one and only former employer. My old boss at the machine shop, he had an idea, and he was like, Jess, hey, I've got an idea for you. And I said, okay, well, if it's good enough, I'll pay for the lunch. And so we went out to lunch, and he told me the idea, and I paid for the lunch. And that was 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, I think it was about 3 years ago. And I've had it in the back of my mind ever since, and I have actually a Fusion file, a whole folder actually dedicated to it, and I did some work on it, and I just opened it today on April 29th, 2024, and the last time I opened it was April 29th, 2022, so I haven't even opened it in 2 years, but let me tell you guys a little bit about what it is. So his idea, Steve, his idea was that we make a box where it's a living puzzle. Like you take the puzzle and you make it part of an organic system, and that system is that you ship a box to a customer in Michigan, a living puzzle box, and then you ship another one to a customer in Texas. But unbeknownst to the puzzler in Texas, he has to find box serial number 802, which was shipped to the puzzler in Michigan. And so they have to find each other and connect via the internet, via puzzle meetups, via, I don't know what else, TV commercials. And they have to find each other and they have to exchange keys of some sort, virtually or physically. And so then you're on a wild goose chase to kind of just find the other person. And it could take you a month, could take you a couple of years, could take you 20 years. Or, maybe you're an ancestor would find the right person with the right key and be able to open the box. So that was his idea. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was interesting, and it's definitely taking puzzles a step out of what they are currently, which I think that, puzzles, as far as they're concerned right now, are at a super early stage, and they're going to go way, 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 way crazy far from where we are today. And we were going to look back and think that our thinking was so limited in the early 2000s of what a puzzle box can be and what it can do. And so I'm for this kind of forward thinking. Now, I did test it out. I worked on its design a little bit, and I emailed somebody, and their feedback was that they don't think that's a good idea and they wouldn't be interested. And I kind of left it off at that because, it was a notable collector. And I think definitely some people are not interested in that sort of thing, but to me, it's just cool to bring puzzles to a different stage, kind of like this, broaden the horizon and go somewhere else with them. It's kind of like, there's lots of cool things you can do in New York, but also like, hey, it's kind of cool to go and see someplace totally different and experience that atmosphere and that climate and those hills and valleys. And that's what this is kind of doing. It's something else within the puzzle box world. And so I'm kind of for it, but I've got some modifications that I think make sense. And so I'll just explain more. So you guys are just getting the whole inside scoop here, okay? I'm just ripping back the curtain and just showing you guys everything. So here's the deal. I don't know how, I shouldn't just tell you everything, I guess, but because I want some parts to be kept a secret so that you guys don't have an advantage that you don't want to have heading into it. But I'm going to try to tell you everything I would tell you basically in a trailer or something, in a premise, so that you guys kind of know what to expect with this box if I do go ahead with it. Okay, so I want to take that, but I want to make it even more into that world. And the living puzzle box, the two-dimensional sort of, you have to find the other person with the key, is interesting. But let's take it a step further and let's kind of develop sort of a blockchain puzzle box where more people are involved with opening your box, and where, say, I set a cap limit at 1,000 boxes and I say, nope, we're going to shut it off at 1,000. This is going to be 1,000 one time, never going to make more, 1,000 serial numbers. And if 980 serial numbers, or something close to 1,000, but not the full 1,000, I don't think, but 980 serial numbers all come together and all pool their information and all collaborate, then you can open the final secret compartment, which is kind of crazy. But let me make it even crazier. I mean, some of you guys were lost way back when, and it's just going to keep getting worse. But, and I'm not the best explainer, but if you can just bear with me, let me just explain this. So we go a step further. So here's the deal. I like to think in visuals a lot of the time and sort of, dramatically or sort of realistically. So I'm thinking of like the trailer or the commercial for this box. And it's going to be somebody telling the story of the guy who made the box. And it's like, back in, 1860, Hans Geely made the first living blockchain out of these puzzles because he had a substance that was so valuable that it couldn't be confined to one singular place, and he didn't want enemy hands to get to it easily. So he designed a series of boxes, 1,000 total, or whatever the number is. Maybe it'll only be like 300, I don't know. But he designed 1,000 puzzles and hid the substance in each puzzle box, and he made it so that an enemy would have to track down all 1,000 puzzles and collaborate all the information in order to open up the final compartment. However, Hans Geely had an assistant who was into some things that even Hans Geely couldn't comprehend. And he was paid off to make 30 puzzles that were, I can't think of the word, that were black sheeps. So these puzzles on the outside would appear to be living puzzle boxes. And they even had the same keys, but there was also another key that, if inserted into a living puzzle box, unbeknownst to the owner, it would lock the puzzle box forever, never to be opened. So if 30 of these puzzles were able to slip their keys into living puzzle boxes, bringing the number down from 1,000 to 970 living puzzles that were able to be opened, then the secret compartment in all the living puzzle boxes would never be able to be opened. Some sort of nefarious thing like that, where now the people with the real true boxes, the real true living puzzle boxes, are actually fighting against the 30 minority people with the false puzzles created by this other guy. And so whatever box you buy and you look under the top and there's like, a white mark or a red mark or a white jewel, a red jewel, a green jewel, it tells you what side you're fighting on with the puzzle. And so then you have to dope the other side into thinking you're one of them. And if you're able to do that, and if enough people on your team are able to collaborate and do that and get inside, then your team's going to win and you guys are going to receive a prize. And if the other team wins, then they're able to open up their puzzles. They receive the prize. Now, that's kind of deep, but let's bring it one step deeper. What if the prize on either end is coordinates? Okay, look, I think I'm going a little too fast. I just need to slow down a little bit because I might be losing some people. So basically, we make 1,000 puzzles, or whatever the number is, and of the 1,000, 30 of them are, we'll just call them evil puzzle boxes. And we'll say that the number of good puzzles that we need to hit in order to unlock the full puzzle box is 950. Yeah, 950. So that there's 20 extra puzzles before that can just be sort of, people who don't know how to use the internet or whatever, or puzzles that get destroyed or something. You don't want a perfect score, because then pretty much the puzzle's never going to be opened and people aren't going to find that extra prize at the end. But say 950, but if all of the evil puzzles convince somebody to use their key, then the people will never hit that 950. So I hope that makes sense. But anyways, and then the prize, here's another level. Here's the prize. And something that's not really been done very much, but it's been done in other avenues in history with other types of things, is the prize could be coordinates, longitude and latitude, and it could be coordinates to a physical place. Now, I have to look into the licensing, well, not licensing so much as permits or such, but I could actually bury a puzzle box in a pelican case or something that would keep it safe underground. And the people who find that can, the first person there, it's kind of, just a race to get there or whatever, and dig up the puzzle, and then somebody's got that box and it'll be like a unique thing or something special. And I think that'd be kind of fun too. And, hopefully whoever finds it would post it on the internet so that other people could see, or maybe send it to somebody who can make a video about it, solving it or something. I think all that'd be interesting. And so that's what I've been thinking a lot about. But there it is. That's all out in the open now with this podcast airing. You know what? It's an idea. I don't have to do it, but I like thinking about this kind of stuff. It's fun, and I think it's achievable. Now, to some degree, not that I don't appreciate sort of sound advice or sort of words of wisdom or whatever, but to some degree, you know what? I just like to go for things that I think are feasible, even if a majority of people are telling me, it's not a good idea, or it's too hard, or, there's other things I should be doing. Because, this, I sort of am where I am because I did things that were not, the beaten path. I went a little off the beaten path. I went a little crazy on some things, and believing in this whole puzzle box thing. So I still want to do things that I'm really excited about and that I think would be cool, and I think other people would think are cool. So, let me know if you have some thoughts or ideas on this, but you know what? One way or another, I might just go ahead and do it. Obviously, I think this is a little rough idea, and I need to definitely polish it and consider it from every customer's sort of perspective on how it's fair or not fair, and if, the feasibility of building it, of course, but I think it'd be neat. So, wow, that was a long tirade. 19 minutes, crazy. Yeah. All right. So with that said, another thing is we've got a lot of puzzles in the works right now, but you know what? My old boss at the machine shop actually pitched this idea to me, or, the beginning of this idea way back in the day. And here's the thing. I figured out that our CNC routers, well, they've been super helpful and they've made a lot of people happy over the years. They're just too much work to keep running. They just have too many problems. And I'd really like to if we made this design, throw it back to my boss and have him machine it, because he's got some pretty serious machines over there. He's got a bunch of Akumas, and he knows how to run parts, make chips, and his tolerances are super. Like, we would never have to worry about us missing a beat on stuff. So the fits would be really good on this box. The machining would be really spot on. Now, obviously, on a horribly expensive machine like he has, you wouldn't want to do a lot of carving, but we could do a mix match of carving on our routers, and then him actually doing the structure and the critical parts and components, and get a little bit of both the carving and his superior, design, whatever. You get the point. So that's what I'd like to do. So I pitched it to him. I messaged him a week ago or something, and I called him up, and he's sort of for it. It depends on, specifics, but it sounds good to me. The other that will help, because we'll be able to do our work and get our puzzles out. But he's a different shop. He has more capacity to do this sort of thing and to get the puzzles made on time and reliably. So all we'd have to do is send in the materials and assemble the components he makes with those materials, pack and ship the boxes. So yeah, I'm excited about that too, because the puzzles could turn out better and for cheaper, because honestly, Josh and I have just spent a lot of our time running the CNC routers, which is just kind of a waste, and we're realizing that now. So so I'm optimistic about this puzzle, and we'll see what happens with it. But I've got a lot of design to do still on it, and a lot of figuring out how to lock people out, and have them not cheated open, and so on and so forth, and how different things are going to affect each other, But yep. So I think I covered that pretty well. Let me know what you guys think if you have any comments on that. In other news, let's switch gears and just talk about what's going on in the shop. So we've got 4 puzzles currently in the works. We've got the Sherlockian subscription box. We've got the Lost Vault, which is available on my website right now. We've got the Fibonacci, and we've got Captain's Quest. All those are being built here at this workshop, with the exception of the Captain's Quest. The metal work is being done at Luke's shop, and everything's getting done. The Sherlockian, we're going to have the last shipment out of 5 happening mid-May. So in about 15-16 days here, that's going to be our last shipment, and then we're done with the Sherlockian experience there. So that's going to wrap up our 5-month subscription box. I think it went well. All the feedback I've seen has been pretty positive. So I think people liked the change of pace, and I think people really liked getting puzzles in the mail and expecting that next package. As I said in the beginning, it is a lot of reading. So if you don't have time to spend on a puzzle reading, like a mystery novel, or if you don't have the time to sit down and read something, the box might not be for you. But there are a lot of hands-on stuff too, like building the storage box and obviously the puzzle itself. And this shipment will send some more things that will keep you preoccupied and busy building things and making stuff. But it's not for everybody. However, we'll have it available again to order in probably June. So we'll start up another 5-month subscription box. The same thing, Sherlockian. If our feedback's really good from it, we're going to want to offer other puzzles by subscription. So keep an eye out for that in December. But I'm not going to promise anything. We just have some good ideas on stuff. But, obviously we'll follow what our customers want. So if you live overseas and you didn't get a chance to purchase the Sherlockian subscription, you're going to be able to have that option in June. Also, if you live in the US and you want to purchase the subscription, you can do that in June. So keep an eye out for that. The Lost Vaults, let me pivot here and talk about Lost Vaults a second. They're just shipping. They're in stock on our website right now. Gabe has been heading that up, one of my guys, and he's doing a great job with that. We got it down to a science, and Gabe's even just in the last month offered a couple ideas on how we can make the box a little bit better. So we went ahead and did that, and they're really going good. So I'm happy to be able to finally offer a puzzle that's just in stock so that people don't have to wait around for me to come out with a new puzzle and then wait on a waiting list. That's really annoying for some people. So I'm happy we got that solved with this puzzle. That's going great. Now let me talk about Captain's Quest. Captain's Quest is going well. Like the boxes are turning out well. We're going slower than I would have hoped, but the puzzles are turning out good. And we're starting to figure out how we can speed up the process. So I'm really hoping we'll get all our orders out this year. I don't know, not too much else I can say about that. Other than, it was a challenge working with metal and lining up the metal with our laser cut wood and also with our PLA printing and all the internal components. But I'm glad we figured that out because it should be faster with our next design, incorporating metal and all that. So, that's going. And then Fibonacci's are being made. They are a challenge to make on the mills. It's kind of pretty technical to run it on the equipment we have, just because of the tolerances we want to hold and, the fits and finish. But we're getting them made. So if you signed up, expect to get one pretty soon because we're getting through our orders and excited to be finished with that in the coming months too. I think that covers everything. So that was just kind of a quick update on what's going on in the workshop here. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I kind of wish we had more to kind of delve into with puzzles and design because I'm super interested in designing puzzles and I could talk about it for a long time, but I don't have anybody here to talk with, and I sort of run out of things to think of that would be interesting. But I'm just going to spend a while longer working on this design tonight. I do have some other designs, but I'll save those for other podcasts to talk about. Thanks for listening, guys. Take it easy. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.